All right. Welcome to the Gore Club Podcast with benefits. I'm Steve Vessel, and I've got
Deathmetal Dave.
Deathmetal Dave. Welcome to the Gore Club Podcast with benefits. This is your first one.
Yes.
Do you know the theme music, Dave?
Dun,
Dun 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 dun. That's all I got.
Okay. Keep working on it. Hasn't happened yet. It hasn't clicked in my head
It's
yet.
fun. I think it's a rip-off of a Friday the 13th theme. Sorry, Harry, Fred Mendinini.
Yes. I don't know that's not his name.
It's not his name.
Not his name at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, tonight we're going to talk about everything that we love about this fucking month.
Yes.
Or hate.
Or hate.
Movies we've seen, things we're going to plan on doing, things we're going to say we're going to do and not do.
Possibly. More me not doing things than doing them.
But it's great. I mean, there's so much to talk about, so much to watch this month. There's no way I'm going to get to all of it. What did you watch last week?
Oh, God. Last week. Well, I saw Hocus Pocus.
Part 2?
I saw the new Hocus Pocus.
Because I saw Hocus Pocus 30 years ago.
It was not aimed at me. I was not their target audience.
Yeah, but could you switch the knob in your head and be like, I'm a kid again and enjoy it?
Oh, it was fun. It seemed sort of like a cash grab to me, but Rachel had a great time watching it. Lots of nostalgia.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen so much this year.
There's been quite a few that I've missed, but I'm trying to catch up.
I mean, okay, what did you like about it? Jesus fuck.
I don't know, man.
Did the heartbeat machine just go beep?
It wasn't bad. I mean, it's just a family spooky movie.
Man, I love the original Hocus Pocus because of the feel, the way it's shot, the way it's edited, the music, the makeup, everything about that movie. Excuse me, is like the last great Disney Halloween movie, because they made a bunch, and then, you know, more for adults.
It was no Mr. Boogedy.
It wasn't like this is something wicked this way it comes or anything like that. Okay, fine.
It was enjoyable. I didn't like storm out of the room and say turn it off.
Oh, okay.
But it was enjoyable.
Well, fuck.
Other movies. I watched Hellraiser.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The new Hellraiser.
Tell these wonderful human beings that give a shit about us right now what you thought about Hellraiser. Did you hate it because it had a female Cenobite
No.
as Pinhead?
See,
Pin Lord?
I thought that
Queen
was,
Lord?
I thought it was
forgot what her
weird
name
because I don't really Cenobites. I mean, do they really have gender? I mean, like, do we really have to even worry about, like, if somebody's ripping you apart with a knife or say chains?
Right. Does it matter if they have boobs?
No, doesn't.
Fuck no, I'm not even looking at that. Now, if you're Frank, you might be turned on by it.
But I thought overall it was a good movie. I thought of it more like, because I didn't know if it was going to be a straight remake. I didn't know if it was going to be.
You went in blind.
Yeah, I just went in blind.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
So watching it, it felt to me like sort of like the Dawn of the Dead remake. You know, it's just like, okay, we've got this idea, but we're going to go our own direction with it. We're going to do our own thing with it, and it worked. The movie was really slow. It was paced slow, but I dug that. I don't need a fast-paced horror film all the time. The special effects are pretty cool.
It's not a slasher movie. These are not slasher movies.
No, they're psychological horror.
I've seen people like, well, you know, there wasn't enough Pinhead or whatever you want to call them in now. I haven't seen it yet, but like there wasn't enough Cenobites, and they're like doing things like, dude, the first film they were in the movie like a total of 10 minutes.
Right. And
what are you talking about, man?
Those are people that like part 3 and wanted CD head.
Barbie.
Yeah. So that's not the kind of Hellraiser movie that I like. I mean, I even liked, if you go back to when they were making the the straight to DVD.
There's a straight made for television Hellraiser, the animated version. Hellraiser, the family movie.
The straight to DVD, like they had, was it Hellraiser Deader or whatever it was?
Oh man, I don't know. I to be honest, I stopped watching them after all of the Lance Henriksen one. Was it Hellworld?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of stopped watching after that, and I even own like all of them on DVD, except for like the Great Value one that came out after that. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Remember that meme? It's like, what is it? I forgot, like name brand, and then you've got fucking Great Value.
Wish.com.
God damn. Yeah, he's 3 sizes too small.
But overall, the movie was good. I thought the special effects were really cool. I think the best special effects come within the last like 5 minutes of the movie.
Don't spoil it, Dave, because we don't spoil things on Gore Club Podcast.
No spoiler.
Even with benefits.
No spoiler on this one. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now because I'm late to the party. Everybody else I know has seen it like 4 times.
I've been too busy, man.
That's
so fucking busy.
It's hard to sit down and watch a movie these days.
Yes. Yeah, I've just been so fucking busy. I haven't been able to see anything. Not really. I got to see a couple of movies. We talked about them before, but like, I don't know. But I do have something for you, Dave.
What's that?
You want to play a game?
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's more Saw, but I'm Jigsaw passing it by. This is the actual Rubik's Cube.
Oh, it's a little Rubik's Cube, and you figured it out. Or does it come pre-solved?
It came, yeah.
Came pre-solved? That's good.
Pre-solved. And then I've got this one. This one's actually signed by Clive Barker, and it's one of the really good ones. I got to find it.
Oh, it actually... Oh, that's really good.
This is made of fucking steel, and it moves. Hello, Frank.
Well, one of the things I thought of when I was watching it is like, the Cenobites, they just really don't like smarter people.
What?
Because dumb people would never pick up a puzzle and be like, I want to figure out this puzzle.
Yeah, the lore on Hellraiser movies is deep.
It is.
Like I got really into the comic books, and they turned them into graphic novels. I think you can get them all now. But I mean, their stories in there match some of the later sequels. But people who aren't really into that and just want Pinhead and they just want Shatterer, they're not going to get that because there's an army of Cenobites. So you're going to get different ones. That's why I actually like Bloodlines. It's one of the last good ones that I thought. It's the one where it's like the lineage of like Lamar Shand, where he actually is the guy who created this, and I like that. It's basically Hellraiser in space, but it's way more deeper than that. And Angelique is one of my favorite Cenobites. She's a badass. She's the one that has her skull, like her head split open. You can see her skull, and she's got nice boobies.
Yeah, she's in the new one.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry.
Trick or Treat meets Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I think Sam might get his ass kicked.
I don't think they do versus movies anymore, Steve. They shouldn't. They should stop.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God. Did you buy that this month?
No, I've had it for years.
I'll just hold on to this and just.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, I went to Spirit Halloween once, and they didn't have anything.
I love Halloween. This is my party hat. This is my Halloween hat from now on.
Steve's had too much candy tonight, kids.
Is that a Sam on your head, or are you just happy to see me?
Here, eat this candy.
Oh.
So what have you been watching?
Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's got to fix his stuff.
Say it again.
What have you been watching?
Well, I did talk about the Munsters. I talked about the Munsters in the last episode.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
With Chris Johnson. I got to see an early screen copy of it, and it was in black and white. A friend of mine converted it, and I really liked that. I don't want to go back into that story because if you watched the last podcast, the Benefits episode, where it's like a love-hate episode on Hellraiser Kills, Halloween Kills, then you'll know how I feel about all of that. So I saw Halloween Kills, or Halloween Ends.
Oh yeah?
I did see Halloween Ends. I didn't get into a fight, or I didn't get to even witness a fight in the theater this time. Because if you know that story from the Gore Club podcast before, somebody actually made a comment on one of the episodes, they're like, hey, make sure you don't don't see a fight this time in the theater. I'm like, yeah, fingers crossed, because I went to the same theater, sat in almost the exact same seat, right? I was just asking for it. And the crowd was dumbfounded at the end of that movie. So I'm actually not going to spoil the end or not much about Halloween Ends. I'm just going to say, I think it's going to be one of those like Halloween 3, Friday the 13th Part 5. There's so many other like franchises that has that 1 or 2 episodes. You're just like, what the hell just happened? Not that it's bad. It just wasn't what the fans wanted. And I think that's exactly what this is. I think it's actually a really well-made movie. They went back to the original pace of the 78, the original 78 movie. The character development's great. I think if you got rid of Kills and made this film and at least the ideas that are in it, a 2-part film, people would be more on board. There's a lot of hate going on right now, and a lot of people who actually dig it.
Well, yeah, people hate everything. I don't know if you've noticed.
I don't. I've been told I like everything, and then I come up with movies that I hate, like Halloween Kills.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that one. Halloween Kills. But Halloween Ends, I'm supposed to watch either tonight or tomorrow, so I will have a review for that soon, whether I like it or not. I'm sure I'll enjoy it somewhat, because I mean, even Halloween Kills, is for as bad as it was, like I still enjoyed watching it. It was still fun because that came out during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I couldn't go anywhere. I'm like, oh shit, I get to watch a new horror film at home.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that review on our next actual Gore Club Podcast episode.
Yes. But you did mention the Munsters. I did watch that.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
My overall impression of it is it should have been
Crap.
a miniseries.
No.
It should have been a miniseries. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt like I was binge watching a show on Netflix. That's what it felt like. And then when it ended, I was just like, oh, okay. Man,
that ending is awful.
Yeah, it just sort of stops.
Just much like the ending of Halloween Ends. They fucking, I'm just going to say, they kill Michael Myers like he's fucking dead, okay?
Damn, spoilers.
What? That's the whole point of this, goddammit. You're supposed to, he gets killed in every fucking Halloween movie. Anyways, except for the ones that disappeared.
He didn't get killed in Halloween Kills.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Anyways, damn it, Dave. But like, man, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the Munsters.
The Munsters, yeah. So the Munsters, man, if they had just changed the ending to where, I'm just going to say, if you don't want to hear about my idea of how it should have ended, then just jump over it. Or that way, if you haven't seen the Munsters, then just jump over this part, or just don't even watch the fucking episode and just delete it. Unsubscribe. Okay. So the end of the Munsters is where their uncle werewolf guy knocks on the door, gives them a check for millions of dollars, and they're rich, and that's the end of the fucking movie. That sucks. My idea would have been, and everyone has their own ideas and they're all valid. I know better than anyone else. I'm just thinking, you know who could have knocked on that door? Cousin Marilyn. Hi, I'm your cousin Marilyn. Blah, blah, blah. I've been away. My normal family fucked somebody else and I came out and I look like this. And they're like, oh, I'm so sad. And then a little bat literally flies by and drops little Eddie holding a little wolf into Marilyn's hands. And she's like, oh shit. Oh, I guess this is your son. And Lily's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, Herman. Dun, 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 dun. Cool ending, man.
And then he realizes he has to go to work.
And
why would he go to work? Why would he go to work if he has millions of dollars?
And the Frankenstein monster needs to wear a rubber.
Yeah, well.
Also, it's been well known, and it's in the fucking show, that Herman is made by Dr. Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Brake doesn't even play that character. It's a totally different named character. I didn't understand. Like, if you're such a big fan, Rob Zombie, why'd you do that? Also, Herman Munster is not green. He's never been green. He might be green in some ads and some things where they mess with it to make him look green. All the color episodes, all the colored movies, that's the wrong word, all the colorized movies and episode, he's not fucking green. He's gray with some green highlights and lighting. He's fucking gray.
Got it all wrong, Rob.
I'm going home. I'm going to just, fuck this. I'm going to the nether world.
You're just gonna send Rob Zombie one of these boxes. Be like, here, you figure it out.
I totally want to do this, but I'll fuck it up and I'll never get back. Are you good at these?
No.
All right. Enough said.
Next. What's on your list of movies to watch?
I still have to go back and watch Prey. I've got to watch.
Oh man, that was so good.
I have been watching the Dahmers. I finished the Dahmer series.
I don't need to watch Dahmer.
There's whole new backlash against people who like serial killer documentaries, and they're calling them fetishists. Like, I got rid of my hardcore serial killer like fiendship. Like, I was a fanatic when I was in high school. I had a library of original books and I threw them all away. One day I woke up and was like, man, these are real people. Like, there's nothing wrong. I don't feel like there's anything wrong to like get into serial killers or like want to know more about them or find them so fucking fascinating and interesting. I'm not going to go fuck them or write them a letter. I had an ex-girlfriend that actually wrote John Wayne Gacy letters and she actually got a response.
Ugh.
Yeah. Or it might have been Richard Ramirez. I can't remember which one. Richard Ramirez, but I mean, that's fine. That's another level of fandom. But like the new thing where everybody's trying to like shame people, even though we're supposed to be in a climate where you don't shame people for their kinks or whatever they like. I'm not down with that, man.
Well, it's just weird. Like, all right, so like, I think I started noticing it when the Ted Bundy movie came out. Like, everybody was like,
Zac Efron?
Yeah, everybody's like, oh my God, Ted Bundy's so hot. And I was like, well, he was
a fucking hot dude.
He was a shithead though. Like I think
He's a monster
I think what happens is
in real life.
Well, in real life, but when people are younger, like they sort of idolize, they fetishize these people because it's just it's something they do something that's so awful that most normal people can't wrap your head around it.
You can't comprehend how fucked up it is to live with somebody's head in a jar next to your bed.
Yeah, I don't need
and it's
to-
not like Silence of the Lambs. That shit's based off real things.
Yeah, I don't need to watch a Jeffrey Dahmer show because it sucks. It was a shitty thing that happened, and I know everything about it because I got a Macabre album. And
Sinister Slaughter or Jeffrey Dahmer.
The Dahmer album.
The Dahmer album is rules.
And a lot of people, there's a lot of backlash I saw online with people like Katy Perry had something in her song about Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like, dude, these guys wrote a whole fucking album about it. Like,
Macabre. Are they from Illinois or Milwaukee? I think they're actually from Milwaukee.
Yeah, they're from somewhere.
I think Corporate Death is from Milwaukee. We're talking about the band Macabre. They're a serial killer death metal grindcore band. And, well, I say serial killer because most of their songs are about serial killers.
All of them are.
Yeah,
Pretty
every
much-
album.
Pretty much all of them.
I have the Night Stalker 7-inch, original 7-inch.
I used to
upstairs.
wake up to that every morning, the Night Stalker song.
Oh my God, he will stick up to your bed.
Yeah, it's
Shut your husband in the head. These are fucked up lyrics.
But I mean, people get upset about shit like that all the time. But somebody's always gonna, for something somebody enjoys, somebody's always gonna find some way to shit on it.
I like dark art. I like dark music. I like fucked up jokes.
Yeah.
People deal with trauma their own way, and I'm not going to shame someone who likes, unless you're like literally doing some bestiality shit or hurting somebody. Reading a newspaper article about Jeffrey Dahmer is fucked up. Now, I will say that this is what I didn't agree with, but I actually, once you watch the show, it kind of evened out. Is they did not, well, actually it doesn't even out. It's still fucked up. They did not let any of the victims' families know that they were going to have them so vividly, like the characters based on the people who were murdered by him on the show with their real names and some, their idea of what the personality was like. Like, if you're going to do that, you could at least be like, what was Tracy like? Tracy actually lived, but like, I'm just giving you an example, that kind of thing. But like, that was fucked because some of those people didn't even know what was going on until they watched the show by accident, or a friend of a friend watched it. Like, you're on like your character itself, because they even included some of the family members. The woman who was in court screaming like, "I hate you, Jeffrey." The woman who acted that part, that scene is in the movie, she nails it. So it's like, I'm torn between like, that's a fucking amazing performance by a real thing that happened. It's fucked that they didn't let anybody know. Like, hey, your sister was eaten by somebody, and we're not going to let Deathmetal Dave know that we're going to literally put your story.
Well, I mean, you got to think
it's
about it.
It's not about
too.
money. It's about just respect.
That was like, what, 94, 95?
When Jeffrey
Dahmer?
No, he cut like 91.
91, was it?
Yeah, like July of 91, if I can remember correctly.
The main thing I remember about that trial is they were like, he made everybody watch Exorcist 3, and I was like, Exorcist 3?
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie. I need to go find it.
It's fucking hard to make a story about a real life criminal and then not include the real facts, because the people want the real facts. When they talk about Jack the Ripper and people are wearing Jack the Ripper shirts, you feel like you're not a part of it because it's 200 years ago.
Right.
Does time make it easier? I mean, is it easier to talk about the Yorkshire Ripper in England compared to, there's a great documentary about him right now, I think on Tubi or something. I mean,
it's a lot easier.
I guess it does make it easier. I guess that's my question is like, what's the time here?
I mean,
I just think it's respect for contacting people who are still alive and connected to the case.
Yeah, I think if it's still fresh in people's minds, then maybe don't do it. I don't know. But I mean, that's where a lot of good horror comes from, though, too. It comes
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
It all comes from something that really happened, or something that somebody had a fucked up idea, and it happened. And Henry, the Portrait of a Serial Killer is a perfect example. First time I saw that movie,
it fucked your brain.
It messed me up, man. The scene where
you don't have to go into
it.
That whole movie is crazy because the guy who made it made almost like a found footage film, even though it's not supposed to be a found footage. It's grainy, it's dark. If you have not seen it, I really suggest you actually watching that, but be prepared. Michael Rooker, who you might like in all these new roles, he is a monster. And Tim Talls, who's now deceased, but he was great. He's also Sheriff Wydell in the very first House of Thousand Corpses, where I guess there's only one House of Thousand Corpses, but he's that. I just rewatched that. Actually, let's skip over the serial killer part. Yeah. I went back and rewatched House of a Thousand Corpses. It's a Halloween movie. It was a lot of fun. And that movie's fucked because a lot of the things they talk about in that movie and they recreate are based on real serial killers. God damn, we can't get out of this.
Can't get away from it. Well,
we're talking about horror movies, and even the most supernatural horror film can be based on reality or someone's experience that they're not happy with. Like, you want to talk about the fucking Entity? Jeez, man, that poor woman. And it's fucked. I might even edit this part out of the podcast because I don't like talking about it, but damn.
Yeah, it's a fucked up movie, Steve.
Yeah, it is. I guess we're going to skip over the Entity. Skip.
Skip. Where were we?
But I watched House of a Thousand Corpses again. I hadn't seen it in since 2 years now, since we did our Rob Zombie episode. And I hadn't seen it since then. And it was good to go back and have a good time with it. Like, you know what? Time made it feel much better. It was actually a faster paced movie than I remember. It's a lot less gory than I remember. When was the last time you saw that movie?
I think when we watched it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
So it's been a little bit, but I mean, even then, I didn't hate that movie. I hated the fact that it's just the movie's fan service. It's just like he took all the cool stuff that he wanted to see and that he saw in other films and was like, I'm going to put that in my movie and make it work somehow. I'm going to take Dwight from The Office and turn him into a fish.
Fish boy. I like that. I like those scenes. I like the special effects in the movie. Wayne Toth, I think, did the special effects for that film. Badass. Again, it showed early on that you're going to watch a Rob Zombie movie and it's going to have cool dialogue, but not for like normal people. We've talked about that before in the podcast. Like, he can write good dialogue or catchphrases for villains, but not your average Joe.
You know what? They didn't say the word fuck in the Munsters even once.
And you still hated it.
Yeah, he probably had help writing it.
Man,
his first draft was like, Lily, where the fuck are you?
I was going to say, I thought Sherry Moon overdid the Lily a little bit. She picked up all her little nuances and just kept them going. And that's not how Yvonne DiCarlo acted.
It was over the top.
She had more moments like that. But not the whole time. Fuck the Munsters. We're done with that.
We're done with that.
Yeah.
What else did you watch?
I don't know, man.
I didn't see, like, I'm
getting ready for Halloween with like candy and decorations. Oh
man. I'm going to board up my house and make sure to turn off my lights. I don't want kids coming to my house.
The fuck, Dave?
Look, man, I don't live in the greatest neighborhood, and you don't go trick-or-treating in my house. You don't even walk down the street, really.
You don't go trick-or-treating in Dave's house. Okay.
Yeah, I can't even walk my dog down the street without being harassed.
Oh.
And then, you see that dummy run up to the door? No. Hello? What's going on?
See, if I had a dog, it'd be like Goofy.
Gorsh,
please don't come in the house.
I really wish he was, and not more like Jaws.
Like, please don't come in my house. So for Halloween, where I actually love the ritual of decorating. I do it every year. As much horror and Halloween, horror stuff to me is different from Halloween decor. Not everybody. Yeah. I do an annual Halloween art show with a bunch of like 30 artists at a time from all over the area. And I always have, I'm very specific about what that means. It doesn't mean painting, talking about Hellraiser. It doesn't mean painting a picture of a Cenobite and going, hey, there's my piece. It's like, no, that's not Halloween, man. That's a horror movie. Now, if the horror movie is during the month of October, it's obviously like Creep Show, movies that are in Halloween. And that's different. For me, Halloween decor is not another, like I've got Evil Dead chainsaws everywhere. And, the rest of my house kind of looks like this fucking studio. But it's not the same as Halloween decor.
So if a movie is set in October, it's a Halloween movie. You just did the Christmas thing for like Lethal Weapon 2. It's a Christmas movie.
It is. We talked about on the Nightmare on Elm Street episode, like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is a Christmas movie.
It is.
Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
Technically, it is now.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
There's so many. You know what? I'm excited for Violent Night.
Oh yeah, I saw something with that.
So the new guy, Hellboy, what's his name?
David Harbour.
Harbor or Harper?
Harbour?
I don't know.
Harbour.
I haven't watched Stranger Things since the first season.
Anyways.
So yeah, his new, it's like holiday violent action movie. It's not really a horror film, but it looks amazing.
It does.
It looks like it's really well made. Everyone in there. I love John Leguizamo, and I haven't seen him in years.
Do you think that he could take on Bill Goldberg's Santa Claus?
I don't know.
Santa Sleigh?
What about Lee Majors from The Night the Reindeer Died? From Scrooged? It's Lee Majors. No, I think Santa Sleigh meets Hellboy is what we're gonna get.
I'm
Not
fine with
Hellboy, but
I'm fine with that. And it's
Santa Sleigh meets Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Because I saw the extended trailer before the Halloween Ends movie, and holy crap! Because originally I thought it was going to be a horror movie, and now it's laid out to where it's like the home invasion movie where they're going after like this rich house where these people have like $300 million in their bank, and then they're just they're awful people. They're on the naughty list. And then he shows up and he's a fucking badass, like literally taking like ornaments and stabbing them through their head and bashing, like it's violent as hell. Just the trailer. Huh?
It's called Violent Night, right?
It's true.
That's there's something in that name, Steve.
I wish you'd die.
But
I'm excited for that movie.
Yes, I'm excited. There's a lot of good movies coming up, but we're talking about Halloween movies, Steve.
Okay.
So go-to Halloween film. Like, all right. So I had this question the other day. Somebody asked me, they're like, look, I've got a 13-year-old kid. I can't scare him. They're not scared of anything. I was like, what are you showing them? And he said, well, I showed him The Ring and I showed him The Conjuring, and he was just bored the whole time.
Whoa.
So I was trying to explain to him. I was like, well, you got to understand, kids are desensitized now. They've seen everything. They've got the internet. It's not like when we were kids and you rent a movie and see something fucked up and gory. You'd be like, holy shit.
I can literally talk into my phone in the most screwed up thing
Yeah.
ever.
They've got TikTok.
And it'll be there. Yeah. Oh, God.
So we're trying to think, what's a good horror film to show a kid? Like,
you
a
don't want to see
teenager
my
doesn't-
algorithm.
What's a good horror film to show a kid at this time of year?
I mean, a kid? What,
Like
give me an age.
Teenager. This kid's 13. I said, my thing was, is he scared of, does he like spiders? And he said, no. I said, show him arachnophobia.
Yeah, because they're getting ready to remake that.
Yeah, show him arachnophobia and then throw a spider at him.
During the movie?
Just during the movie.
Oh, this is
throw a
William
spider at
Castle
him,
shit, yeah.
and maybe that would work. But like, I've had this conversation with more than one person recently about like, oh, because everybody's got kids that are getting a little bit older. What do you show them? It's like, you don't want to go straight to Serbian film or Martyrs because you'll have to pay for some therapy.
A lot of therapy.
There's got to be a middle ground between.
And you have to talk to your kids after those.
There's
Who
gotta
does
be
that?
There's got to be a middle ground between the extreme and like a kids movie. And what is that middle ground now?
Oh, if like teenage, like 10,
Teenagers,
10
yeah.
to 13. There's a certain number. That's why like there's that weird number because 10-year-olds are hanging out with 15, 16-year-olds. 8-year-olds are hanging out with like 11. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have this weird, like what you're exposed to. There's bullshit your parents, we all know this. Like, oh, my parents only let me watch these kind of movies. But when I'm at Johnny's house,
Right.
it's Double Dick Sally. I'm serious. Like that's how we get exposed to the fucked up shit. And now things are
Right.
so much easier to get a hold of. Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about.
Just
Like,
bring out fucking Wicked City, man.
Because
You
I-
like anime?
I sent him a list of movies. I even said like Exorcist 3. I said that one's creepy.
That's really tame, yeah,
Yeah,
for like a
but-
kid. But it's got some cool shit.
But it got some freaky scenes in it though. Obviously.
And that's great about that is you don't have to watch the first two. You can just say, hey, we're going to watch a scary movie and put it in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Halloween 3, I think that'd be a good one.
Halloween 3 maybe.
There's no
It wouldn't-
nudity. There's no nipple
it
because she
wouldn't
had a
scare-
nipple rule.
He's trying to scare his children.
He's trying to kill him. He's trying to kill everybody.
No. Well, in the movie, yes. No, I'm saying my friend is trying to scare his children.
Oh, okay.
So what does he make them watch?
I don't know. I would say even the first Halloween, but if he was okay, you have to go back to what you said. If he was bored with like The Conjuring and The Ring. Now The Ring, I could kind of understand because the technology is so outdated. That
Didn't hold up.
The kid's just like, what's that? What's this big clunky tape they're talking about, Dad?
Oh yeah, good point. Think about that.
What do you mean rewind?
VHS. What do you?
Right. And how would you even make that movie? That's a whole other conversation. And then you've got The Conjuring. The Conjuring, I think Conjuring's great. And there's scenes in that movie that scare the fuck out of me.
Jump scares.
They are. Well, but that's what we grew up on. This whole weird thing about jump scares. Like, oh, I don't like movies with jump scares. Like, name a slasher movie that doesn't have a jump scare until they got just to be gross.
Right.
And that's what they are. You know, it's that they invented the stinger. It's like weird sound effect when something happens. Bing! Wah, whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, Mo. That's not a stinger. That's just stupid. I don't know, man. It's so hard to gauge what a kid. I mean, most of my kids are adults now, so I would show them movies, and if they were scary, I was a dick. I would pull up the big stuffed like sofa and pull it right up to the television, turn all the lights off, and then make them watch it. But we would talk about the movie afterwards, and maybe sometimes I would pause the movie
and be like, what do you think about The Hills Have Eyes? Oh, you want to go back to watching Barbie? Okay, I'm sorry, you're 8. I didn't.
You want to take a camper into the desert? No. No. Okay. Well, I did that with Jaws. I did that with Stand By Me. I did that with The Exorcist and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they were not like babies. They were kids. We could have adult conversations. But no, I just wanted them to enjoy their childhood as long as they possibly could, because once they got that cell phone, there's no more innocence. My kids were still at an age where they could go out and play. I could say, go play. And then my youngest daughter got to an age where like, why don't you go play? And she just looked at me and said, Dad, people don't play.
I don't play anymore.
Which sucks.
No imagination.
She was right at that age where like building a clubhouse and getting dirty is a big fucking deal. Not coming home until I had to yell at her, you know, scream out of the front door. That's like the last generation of kids that you could do that with. Once you give that kid, and everybody be your own parent, obviously fuck Steve, but just how I raise my kids, like you don't get a cell phone until I know that you're going to be responsible for it. For one, it's not a fucking toy. Yeah, I was just really structured with my kids' upbringing, so they could have the least amount of trauma that I could control in my household. Like if they go to their friend's house, that's not, you know, I do what I could, but like in my house, they could only watch certain kind of films. They could only, you know, eat certain kind of trash, like, you know.
Moral of the story is if you want to scare the shit out of your kids by the time they're teenagers, don't give them a cell phone.
Jesus Christ. Once you give them that cell phone, Bobby's seen some shit.
So what movies are you looking forward to watching? Like I've got a list. I've got a small list. I still haven't seen Mad God yet.
Holy shit, yeah. I hadn't seen it until we showed it at the Gore Club a couple of weeks ago for our producer's, Corey's not here tonight, but our producer's birthday.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like the
I don't think that was a
concept
good
of-
setting to watch it because it's a movie you really have to watch, and Gore Club's more of a party.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah, because you couldn't make it that night. So we watched it, and, you know, there's 30 people there, and we're all having a good time, but it's not a good time movie. It's not. I'm not saying it's not a good. It's a great movie. It's one you really want to get into. It's like watching Children of what's the French film? Children of the Lost City.
Oh, Children of the Lost City.
City of the Lost Children. That's
City
it.
of the Lost Children. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, or like, you know, I don't know, Devil's Backbone or something, but like all stop motion animation. You really want to watch it because you have to appreciate the artistry that goes into this fucking movie that took him 30 years to make, you know, off and on, to be a part of it. Mad God, yeah. Holy shit, it looks amazing. It is amazing.
It looks really good. There's that. There was the new Dario Argento film that was just released. Actually, I was upset because it's called Dark Glasses, and Shudder. It's probably up now. By the time this comes up, it'll be up on Shudder. But a few weeks ago, they were like, "Hey, we've got a secret movie at 10 o'clock," and I just totally spaced on it.
Oh,
and
that's
I turned
right,
it on
yeah.
at like 10:30, and it was like, "Holy shit, this is a new Argento film." So heard good things about that. There's all kinds of movies that I want to watch. I just haven't had a lot of time, and now that I've got a free weekend to not do anything. Like I'm just gonna watch trash films with Rachel and eat equally trashy food.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
Lose brain cells, gain some weight.
That's right. But between like the movies and then like the every year thing, like going to the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular, and if for those of you that aren't from Louisville, there's a park. We have this
Massive park.
massive jack-o'-lantern display, and it's a mile. It's over a mile, isn't it?
Just the trail is, but the jack-o'-lanterns go way up into the trees and over. It's like, oh my God, it's amazing.
And they have lots
deep
of
into the thing.
They
Yeah.
have lots of artists that do them. There's themes like all Star Wars pumpkins, and one year they had Princess Bride, and then they'll have horror themed ones.
Yeah, they always have like the rest in peace version too, where like people who have died this year, they'll have a memorial jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think more cities are starting to get this, but this is the original one that started. I think it started in New York, and now it's been here every year since.
And we go every year. It's just tradition at this point because, like I said, we don't get to do as many Halloween things as we want to, especially since the pandemic and that shut everything down. It sort of ruined everything. But we're working on our costumes, getting those ready.
Can you tell us what they are? You don't have to.
I mean, well,
these people don't give a fuck.
With our new dog, Rachel's like, we should do some family costumes. So
Dudley,
like
Dudley
great.
the dog.
And she found this big fur coat, and she's like, I want to be Cruella de Vil, and Dudley's going to be a Dalmatian. I was like, that works.
That's a murder.
She's like,
Cruella de Vil murders Dalmatians. Okay.
Yeah. So she's going to dress the dog like a Dalmatian, which I'm like, okay, that's whatever.
What are you going to be?
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a sweater vest and be that asshole that plays the piano.
Well, the normal guy. I was going to say, I thought you might be going to be one of the Cockney villains that kidnapped the dogs.
The dog should probably be the villain.
Yeah, okay. You could dress up as a dog and be one of the what's the Gomer Pyle was one of the dogs in the in the dump. Like, oh no, there's something going on over there.
We're all dressed like a Dalmatian too.
Oh, okay, they should kill you too.
Yeah, okay.
You'll be half skinned.
Half skinned.
That's the story. Cruella de Vil wants these people like.
I just won't tell her about my costume. I'll just walk in like
hides,
have like little dog ears, and then just half my face missing, and be like, "You did this to me." And just ruin Halloween for all of us.
That's amazing.
We've talked about it. We've talked about a few other costumes.
Shit.
I don't know. She was like, I want to dress the dog up like a pumpkin. I'm like, whatever. As long as we don't have kids.
Yeah.
Dress the dog up however you want.
Yeah. That's probably the safest bet. I think this year, I've never dressed up as Jack Nicholson from The Shining, and I've had the axe forever. That jacket, that vintage corduroy red jacket that he wears is so specific. I found one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I finally got it, and I have a friend who we used on the Splatter Effects Splatter Masters episode of the podcast, who's worked on so many fucking amazing projects, even though he's not a really good salesperson of his own work, but I'm blowing him up. He's done some major shit. He's actually helping me with a wig. I mean, I'm already a bald old man anyway, so it's gonna be easy just to trim this down a little bit, act like a jackass, but I'm Jack. Okay. And then
you gonna wear that to the Gore Club?
Yeah.
I'll dress up like a door.
So I'm gonna fuck you with this axe?
Just a door, and you just come and just chase me around all night.
Yeah, get over here, Red Rum. That's what your name will be, the Red Rum Door. And so Dave's talking about we do our annual Neilbog Harvest Festival, which is a celebration to Troll 2. We do that every year for Halloween. And yeah, I'm gonna dress up as Jack Nicholson.
Oh man, that's a good one. I got to come up with something fun this year because the last few years.
I don't think we should be a couple because it might upset our partners.
Might be weird, but
nothing's weird.
I ever since like even the year before the pandemic, like 2019, I didn't really do anything, and 2020, I was like, I'm not doing anything now. In 2021, I'm like,
I can't remember what I did for the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, the Halloween during the pandemic, I can't remember. So many things were closed down. I probably just stayed home and tried not to kill myself.
Rachel still had like 2 costumes. We just stayed at home.
Oh, that's awesome.
She still had 2 costumes.
That keeps it fun.
And I was like, well, I'm lame. I'm just going to go put on my PJs and let's watch some movies.
Some movies.
Let's watch some movies.
That's cool though. I haven't had a lot of downtime to sit and watch movies, and I took off. My daughter's birthday is the 31st, and that was not planned. And so I'm going to see what she wants to do, but she's old now and she doesn't want to hang out with Dad. So maybe she'll go get trash with the friends.
Yeah, and then
that's my biggest country accent I could ever do. My friend with friends. I don't know.
The newest Joe Bob special is coming up soon.
Yeah, is it next week or week after? By the time this episode comes out, it'll be like 3 days. So
yeah, everybody's got their speculation, but like when Darcy posted something made a bunch of people think it was Rock and Roll Nightmare, and I'm like, please God, I want to watch this with a ton of strangers.
Hell yeah!
Just because it's just weird. It's one of those movies you show somebody and you're like, I'm just going to watch you watch this just so I can see exactly what your reaction is.
You know what's crazy is today I was just talking to Frank Dietz, who's in that movie. We were texting each other because he's looking for representation, and I was throwing him some agents' names his way. If you don't know, I'm a promoter of celebrities in town, and I bring horror celebrities to town. And we did a Frank Dietz event last year. We showed Black Roses, and he did live commentary with us, and it was a lot of fun. He's coming back next year for this, and we haven't decided, but I think he wants to do Rockin' on Nightmare. I can't remember.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
Is that what it was? I can't remember, man.
I want to talk about Thor's lube budget.
But how weird that you bring that. It's been a weird day.
It has been.
You just brought that up, and I was like, I just talked to Frank Dietz.
Oh man, maybe it's in the cards. Maybe these are all coincidences for things that are going to happen.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good time, man. Halloween is my favorite time of year. To me, it starts in like January. Not January. That's pretty funny, right? It starts in July. It really does. That's when some of the big box stores like At Home or some of the other ones actually start putting their things out. People complain about stores putting out Christmas things in October, but if you really know where to dig in certain places, there are already Halloween ornaments and decor up in July.
Yes, in Lowe's, Home Depot, they always put up stuff.
Then Lowe's killed it this year. That was amazing.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of cool stuff.
All the new animatronics, so they're all sold out now. But they had a Freddy, a Michael Myers, a Jason, a Chucky, an Exorcist. They all like animatronic, life-size animatronics. They did the animatronics that they did this year, and I was very impressed by Lowe's selection.
I really want to meet the people that buy these things.
Just to see how much money they like.
Or just, where do you keep these? Do you have a special room in your house? Do they go in the attic?
One of our friends actually does that. He makes all the flyers for my Gore Club events. His name is Chad, and he is a collector. He's a buyer and collector of life-size animatronics. I went to his house one year to give out candy during Halloween. That's what I did during the pandemic. You're absolutely right. And I totally forgot about that. That's fucking funny. And he had that year was the year of the Sam from Trick or Treat, and he bought it. And I remember I actually stood next to Sam and acted like I was an animatronic to scare kids. It fucking worked, man.
See, I miss stuff like that where you had a neighborhood where kids would come by, you give them candy, also scare the shit out of them
without getting shot,
critique their costumes.
Yeah.
When last time I had something like that, I lived in an apartment, and
apartment trick or treating is great.
The few years before, like I had kids that would come by, and I would always give out good candy because I worked at the video store.
Big box porn. Go ahead.
Not in my store, sir. I would just buy the big bags of candy, like the huge bags of Reese's Pieces and like stuff like that. And I would just give each.
Oh, you were the cool guy.
Yeah, I'd give each kid, because I got a huge discount on them, so I'd buy like a couple boxes each. And then one year I did it, and no kids showed up, and so I was just stuck with like boxes and boxes of candy. And I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. Well, then the year after that, a bunch of kids came by. Somebody told somebody. I didn't have any candy. So I'm just like, I've got cash at this point. I'm like, here's $2. Here's $2. Here's $2.
That still makes you cool as fuck.
Well, but I would always, judge costumes. Not to make the kids.
Oh, you're like $1.50 for you.
Yeah. Well, no. If you had a really cool costume, you got an extra candy.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
If you put talent, if you bought some shit, you just whatever, take a piece of candy.
I felt bad for the kids that just walked up with a Kroger bag, and you could tell they didn't have money, or maybe their parents just sucked at planning. And I'm like, here, man, here you go. I'm sorry. See, while you're shaming them, I'm understanding them, Dave.
I'm not saying some store-bought. Let's see some effort there, man. Just take an extra piece of candy.
Yeah.
You worked hard. You get something for it.
I fucking love this time of year. Also this time of year is the Louisville Halloween Parade. It's a huge event, and now this comes with a Halloween festival, and the festival lasts all month. It's every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday, I think. And the festival goes on all month long, and then it culminates into the Louisville Halloween Parade. Now, I also an organizer and founder of the Louisville Krampus celebration. I feel like I'm just self-promoting tonight, but it's true. We've always been, at least the last 4 or 5 years, we've always been the main kind of like anti-claus in the back, the last float that you see. And this year we're going all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there hasn't been a Louisville Halloween parade since before COVID.
Yes, you are correct.
So this is going to be a biggie, baby.
Got any special surprises for that?
I can't tell you.
You don't want to throw out that candy. It might have a razor blade in it, or
they still eat that
drugs.
shit. No, you have to hand it to them. I'm going to hand out flyers about Gore Club or whatever the hell else we're doing. Or like, there's a brand new horror bookstore coming, opening up in like another week here in Louisville. It's just a horror bookstore. That's rad as hell. And I'm actually helping to organize a couple of events for them. I don't know, man. It's this time of year in our city is amazing. We have an entire neighborhood that's just devoted to Halloween. It's in the area called Hillcrest. And when I say like they go all out, like Dave's talking about, like the stuff you see in a movie, they have 3 blocks. And yeah, this is a nice neighborhood. So these people have money. There's people that jump out of like, of displays. There's photo op areas. I go every year, and they want you to come to their neighborhood and pick up, and do selfies. They actually have a hashtag for the neighborhood, and they go all out, man. They're each house is like $1 million worth of animatronics and Halloween decorations, and it's crazy. I love it.
And they've been telling you for years you're too old to get candy from them.
Shut up. No.
I remember that feeling. Hey, kid, you're too old to be trick-or-treating. It's like, I'm only 15.
The last time I went trick-or-treating, I was about 15, maybe 16.
Yeah.
I was dressed up as Jerry Only.
Yeah. I think the problem was I was probably smoking a cigarette or something. It's like a shit costume. I just wanted some candy.
So we have a Halloween store here in Louisville called Caulfield's Novelty. They've been around since 1920. They started as like a magic shop. This guy sold magic, little like hand magic crap in their gimmicks in their waiting room in a dentist office, and now they're the only year-round Halloween store that we have, and we don't have to wait for Spirit. We don't have to wait for like Halloween Express if that's even around anymore. And they have added so many things. They now have Creepy Company. They have Trick or Treat Studios. They have all the stuff. Mm-hmm. They're building more and more things. We're thinking about helping them out with even more events next year. We do an event every month with them. They're new things. They have like the Kandarian demon daggers now. They've got full-sized Chucky in there this week. Caulfield's is making me super happy this year.
Yeah, they've stepped up their game a lot. And a lot of the even Spirit, they've had a lot of good stuff this year too.
Spirit went from being the joke company that took over whatever closed Circuit City or Kmart,
JCPenney,
to now you can't wait for them to open.
Yeah, all the Killer Clown stuff they had.
Yeah. And
the thing is this is I probably shouldn't tell people this, but you can get on their website and order all that shit like before the store even opens. You can just literally go to their website and get it at any time you want.
Sorry, this is an original Killer Clowns from Outer Space hand puppet from the late 90s. He's still good. What? Yeah, I don't know why people wait for Spirit to open when you can just go on there anytime.
Yeah, you can go on the website and order the stuff. Like everybody's like, I can't find the Killer Clown stuff. It's like, I've already ordered it like a week ago.
This is one of the best masks they ever put out. This is the best Sam mask I think is on the market. Is this one? If you're just listening to us, it's a full cloth. It's got a rope around its neck. You can see really well through all of the mesh. It's not a piece of rubber. No offense, Trick or Treat, but this Spirit, this cheap. It's very cheap. As in like doesn't cost a lot. This Spirit Halloween Sam mask from Trick or Treat fucking rules.
They got a movie coming out too, don't they?
It already came out. The Spirit Halloween, the movie?
The Spirit Halloween movie?
Came out this week.
God, branding.
There's so much going on, man.
I can't even keep up with it.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. I think we'll call it a day.
You think so?
Yeah, man. This has been fun. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Steve.
Dun, 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 dun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful October.
See ya.
I'm going to figure this fucking thing out.
Oh, no.
All right. I think that's a good